What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. We've got a great video for you guys today. We're going to discuss if driving Uber in today's day and age is really still even worth it. Before we jump into that, we wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Solo. Solo is the best app for just making more money with Uber and Lyft. Guaranteed earnings, tracking, all the features that sometimes you had to have 6 or 7 different apps downloaded to accomplish are now in one app. You can get $15 for free just for signing up using our unique link in the description below. Let's dive in. Alrighty, so gas prices have gone down a little bit. They're still relatively high, especially in a lot of cities in the West. But the main thing I want to discuss here about driving is when you look at the best cities for driving, the average hourly earnings are like around $22 an hour, and that's in some of the best markets. And in some of those best markets, the cost of living is a lot higher. You know, people are always like, oh, you can make $23 an hour driving in the Bay Area. It's like, oh, great. And I pay $5,000 a month for rent. And I'm exaggerating there, obviously, but I'm not impressed by that stat when it's coming from a city where it costs so much just to survive. God forbid if you smoke cigarettes, you're probably going to have to file bankruptcy. So what's the real dilemma? Let's really think about what you're making. Now, obviously, write-offs can always come into the equation at the end of the year, but most people don't have the luxury of thinking that way. So let's say that you are making $22 an hour. I'm going to say $20 an hour for the sake of easy math. You drive 20 hours a week, you know, you're making, not much. An extra $400 or $500 a week, we'll just say, with tips. Let's just say you make $500 a week driving that. So if you make $500 a week in that amount of time, you probably need to get, 3 tanks of gas. You're probably going to spend $150. Maybe a little bit less than that, because most of us are driving better cars. So we'll say $100. So you're ending with $400 a week. Now, that isn't bad at all. If you're making an extra $400 or $500 a week on about 20 hours and you're working a full-time job still, let's say you're making $1,500 a week there. Probably on average, most people are making more like $1,000 a week, $800 to $1,000, maybe $800 to $1,200. So you're able to pull in now $1,500 a week, $6 a month. That's pretty good money. But how long can you sustain that for is more of what I start to wonder. How long can you really sustain that for before your car needs maintenance? Before your car just isn't usable? But really, the better question that I've been asking people is, Uber used to be like really the only type of side hustle where you could maintain complete flexibility, but now that's not the case. There's a lot of other ways you can make that money now. And if you're a full-time driver, you don't even really have the luxury of flexibility. I mean, sure, you can start 1 or 2 hours later, but for the most part, if you're pumping 50-hour weeks, I mean, you're working most days for longer shifts. So it's not like you're doing this for the flexibility. So if you really want to maintain the real reason for driving Uber in the first place, you're driving part-time, 20 to 30 hours. But in those 20 to 30 hours, after your gas, after your costs, after your wear and tear, after your vehicle might not, being as usable in 2 years, is it worth it compared to a virtual job? Because since the pandemic, virtual work's become huge. And you'd be shocked if you go online, there's customer service jobs where you don't even have to have fully set hours. They'll let you clock in for 3-4 hours at a time, and you're not spending gas money. So I've been at an interesting place because I don't drive nearly as much as I used to, just from time to time. And I don't see that I'm making 20 an hour consistently anymore. And I've always thought that I don't want to just break even with this. I want to do better with this than anything else I could do as just like a side hustle, And so for me, I've been looking at it, and I mean, I've done pretty well for myself, so I don't need to go take a customer service job. And I like just hopping on the app from time to time and just driving for a couple of hours and talking to some people. But if I was in a position of necessity, I honestly think I would take some type of virtual job over this, because at the end of the day, a lot of these companies will literally get an office set up for you at home. They'll give you an expense amount so you can get a nice computer, get, a phone, get a headset, everything you need. And it's not glorious, but is it all that different? I mean, maybe the people you talk to are a little bit angrier each day, but why do you really care if you're just working? So in my opinion, I think everybody needs to take a deep look on if this really makes sense financially. I can't give anyone firm advice because I don't know every market, every person's situation, and what they need to make each week, or how much they end up paying in gas based on their vehicle. But the way I see it is, if you're not making $25 an hour on this, it really isn't worth it. Because I'm factoring in what I know about how my vehicle's deteriorated over time. No matter how much I changed the oil, no matter how careful I was, pretty much every 2 to 3 years, you need a new car if you drive consistently. If you pop in just on holidays or once a month, then this doesn't apply to you. But my thoughts would be, if you're someone who's looking for your next step, Uber and Lyft might not be it if you're looking for something that you're going to put heavy hours into, because there's some really, really good part-time options out there. Everybody's complained about minimum wage. A lot of these jobs are paying $20 to $25 an hour, and you don't have expenses, and you're not destroying your vehicle. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out Solo, linked in the description below, and I will talk to you guys soon.